The desert air of Las Vegas hangs heavy with neon glow, as if the night sky itself has been replaced by the pulse of money. Billboards flicker with images of championship belts and diamond chains. Rolls-Royces cruise silently down the strip, while in high-rise suites, champagne glasses clink under the hum of private jet engines waiting on the tarmac. But behind all the glitter, beyond the staggering displays of wealth, lies a story carved from sweat, pain, and an unrelenting hunger. This is the tale of Floyd Mayweather Jr., a man who defied statistics, who escaped the shadows of poverty and family dysfunction, who rose from a young boy in Grand Rapids, Michigan, to a global icon who turned fists into fortune. He called himself Money. But to understand why, to truly grasp the phenomenon, one must retrace the steps from humble beginnings to unimaginable opulence. Mayweather's story is not merely about boxing. It's about power, risk, spectacle, and above all, control. He didn't just win fights. He won the financial game that devoured so many of his peers. And along the way, he built a life that seemed designed not just to be lived, but to be displayed. Tonight, we step inside that life, into the dazzling highs, the darker controversies, the reckless spending, the savvy investments, and the ever-expanding empire. This is not just the story of an athlete. This is the financial odyssey of Floyd "Money" Mayweather. Born into the fight, Floyd Mayweather Jr. entered this world on February 24, 1977, in Grand Rapids, Michigan, a place defined by Rust Belt struggles and working-class hardship. His father, Floyd Mayweather Sr., was a professional boxer, a man of skill but limited glory. His uncles, Roger and Jeff Mayweather, were also fighters. Boxing wasn't just a career in the Mayweather family. It was bloodline, heritage, and at times, curse. Young Floyd grew up surrounded by the echo of gloves, hitting heavy bags, and the tension of family conflict. His childhood was far from gilded. His mother, Deborah, battled substance abuse. His father, who often clashed with the law, was absent during critical years. There were nights when the boy who would one day earn hundreds of millions slept in cramped apartments with little food. But inside those struggles, Mayweather nurtured a secret weapon, a will that would not bend. From the start, boxing was his refuge. The gym was where chaos melted into order, where pain transformed into promise. Trainers remember him as a child staying late after practice, mimicking combinations, perfecting footwork, obsessed with defense, even at an age when most kids only cared about offense. "Boxing is my girlfriend," young Floyd once said. "It's my life." By the time he was a teenager, he was already a national Golden Gloves champion. At the 1996 Atlanta Olympics, Mayweather brought home a bronze medal after a controversial decision against Bulgaria's Serafim Todorov. Many believed he had won. The loss cut deep, but it ignited something more valuable than gold. A hunger for vindication, a vow to never again leave his fate in the hands of judges or managers. He would control his destiny. The early professional years. Turning professional in 1996, Mayweather's rise was immediate and electric. Nicknamed Pretty Boy for his defensive brilliance that kept his face remarkably unscathed, he carved through opponents with surgical precision. By 1998, he was a world champion, defeating Genaro Hernandez for the WBC super featherweight title. What separated him was not just speed or reflexes, but his unique ability to make world-class opponents miss punches by mere inches. His shoulder roll defense became iconic, frustrating opponents and mesmerizing fans. But the early paydays, while comfortable compared to his upbringing, were modest compared to the empire that would follow. In his first decade as a professional, he was earning millions per fight, a fortune for most, but a prelude for him. The true turning point came in 2006, when he bought out his contract with Top Rank Promotions for $750,000. That single check became the greatest investment of his life. No longer bound to promoters taking the lion's share, Mayweather founded Mayweather Promotions and began orchestrating his career as both fighter and businessman. Every punch thrown from that moment forward wasn't just for a paycheck. It was for ownership, autonomy, and legacy. The making of money. The world first saw the transformation in 2007, when Mayweather faced Oscar de la Hoya. The fight wasn't just a sporting event. It was a cultural phenomenon. Mayweather played the villain to perfection, arriving in Mexican colors to provoke De La Hoya's fans, flaunting arrogance, confidence, and bravado. The result was the biggest pay-per-view event in boxing history at the time, drawing 2.4 million buys and $137 million in revenue. Mayweather earned around $25 million that night, his largest purse to date. But what mattered more was the realization that he could sell not only fights but characters, storylines, and spectacle. He leaned into the persona of Money Mayweather, a character larger than life, one that thrived on excess. Where Pretty Boy was about finesse, Money was about empire. And from that point on, he became less a boxer and more a one-man brand. His fights became must-watch events. Against Ricky Hatton in 2007, he pocketed another $20 million. Against Shane Mosley, he stacked tens of millions more. But it was in 2015 that the world witnessed the zenith of pay-per-view economics. The fight of the century, Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, shattered every record imaginable. The bout generated over $400 million in pay-per-view sales, with Mayweather himself reportedly walking away with $250 million. Forbes crowned him the highest-paid athlete in the world that year, with earnings of $300 million. For context, in 2015, that was more than the combined salaries of LeBron James, Lionel Messi, and Roger Federer. Mayweather had turned boxing, a sport many declared dying, into a billion-dollar machine. The billion-dollar fighter. By the middle of the 2010s, Floyd Mayweather had become more than a boxer, he was an economy. His fights were not contests in the ring. They were global financial events. The numbers tell the story. Between 2012 and 2015, Forbes consistently ranked him as the world's highest-paid athlete. In 2012, he topped the list with $85 million, and he repeated the feat in 2014 with $105 million. In 2015, he crushed records with $300 million, almost entirely from the Pacquiao fight. Unlike other athletes who rely on corporate sponsors, Mayweather's fortune flowed directly from his fists and his business acumen. While Nike, Adidas, and Gatorade defined the revenue streams of stars like Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, or LeBron James, Mayweather proudly built his empire on ownership. He did not want to be paid to wear someone else's logo. He wanted to create his own. This independence meant he often had fewer endorsement checks than his peers, but he made up for it with control of pay-per-view rights, gate receipts, and merchandising. His fight against Conor McGregor in 2017 proved the model once again. Marketed as a spectacle pitting a UFC champion against an undefeated boxing legend, the bout grossed more than $550 million. Mayweather earned an estimated $275 million from that single fight, pushing his career earnings past $1 billion. It cemented him among the elite club of billion-dollar athletes, alongside Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Lionel Messi. Sportico, a financial outlet specializing in sports economics, would later calculate that Mayweather's career earnings, adjusted for inflation, reached $1.2 billion. Even conservative trackers like Celebrity Net Worth and Sports Illustrated concede that his lifetime gross revenue from boxing and exhibitions exceeds $1 billion. The boy from Grand Rapids had done what few in history ever achieved. He had turned violence into valuation, sweat into skyscrapers of wealth. Net worth in 2025, the fortune that remains. By 2025, estimates of Mayweather's net worth vary. Forbes, Sports Illustrated, and Times of India put him around $500 million, while other sources like Celebrity Net Worth suggest closer to $400 million. Why the discrepancy? The answer lies in the volatility of Mayweather's spending, investments, and liquid cash. Mayweather is not like Warren Buffett, quietly compounding wealth in index funds. His fortune is kinetic, constantly in motion. He buys mansions in Beverly Hills, Las Vegas, and Miami. He spends millions on jewelry and watches. One diamond-encrusted timepiece known as the Billionaire Watch reportedly cost him $18 million alone. He maintains an automobile fleet so vast that some garages are filled with only white vehicles, while others are filled exclusively with black ones. And yet, he also invests. His business arm, Mayweather Promotions, controls stakes in fighters and events. He owns multiple boxing gyms. He has dipped into real estate ventures, music promotion, and even NASCAR with the launch of the Money Team Racing. These ventures create ongoing revenue, ensuring that while he spends lavishly, he continues to replenish the vault. It is this duality, extravagance paired with entrepreneurship, that makes his net worth difficult to pinpoint. But regardless of whether it's $400 million or $500 million, the bottom line remains: Mayweather is the richest boxer in history. No one in the sport has come close. Mansions, jets, and kingdoms of luxury. To understand Mayweather's lifestyle is to step into a theater of wealth. His Las Vegas mansion, known simply as Big Boy Mansion, is a sprawling 22,000 square foot estate. It features a 12-seat cinema, a wine cellar, crystal chandeliers, and an underground garage for his luxury vehicles. But this is just one of his homes. In Beverly Hills, he bought a $25 million estate with a candy shop, a 12-seat cinema, and a personal wine collection valued at $3 million. In Miami, he acquired waterfront properties that glimmer under the Florida sun. His fleet of cars is legendary. Rolls-Royces, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Bentleys, many of them customized and duplicated in black and white sets. He has been photographed with cars worth more than $15 million at once. A Bugatti Veyron here, a Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita there, the latter costing $4.8 million and so rare only two exist in the world. Then there are the jets. Mayweather doesn't settle for one. He owns two private jets, one for himself and one for his entourage. His Gulfstream G650, costing around $60 million, is often seen decorated with TMT, the Money Team, branding across the fuselage. Inside, plush leather seats and gold accents create a flying palace, where Mayweather is known to pose with stacks of $100 bills for Instagram. Jewelry is another obsession. His collection of diamond necklaces, rings, bracelets, and watches is rumored to be worth over $100 million. His crown jewel, the Jacob & Company billionaire watch, alone costs more than many athletes' entire careers earn. Mayweather doesn't merely buy possessions, he curates exhibitions of wealth. For him, every purchase is both a reward and a performance. The high price of fame, controversies, and tax battles. Yet no empire stands without cracks. For Mayweather, controversy has been a constant companion. He has faced lawsuits, domestic violence allegations, and, most notably, battles with the IRS. In 2017, reports surfaced that he owed $22 million in unpaid taxes, even as he prepared for the McGregor fight. Mayweather responded by writing a single check after the fight's windfall, paying off the debt in one stroke. The taxman has come knocking on more than one occasion. His spending sprees, too, raise questions about sustainability. Skeptics point to athletes like Mike Tyson, who earned hundreds of millions only to declare bankruptcy. Could Mayweather one day follow the same path? He insists not, repeatedly reminding fans that he is the smartest businessman in sports, and that his exhibition fights alone bring in tens of millions each year. Then there was the crypto controversy. In 2018, the SEC fined him for promoting an unregistered cryptocurrency offering without disclosure. He paid a $750,000 settlement and was barred from promoting securities for 3 years. In 2022, he was named in another lawsuit tied to Ethereum Max, though the case was eventually dismissed. These brushes with financial scandal remind the world that even money must navigate modern pitfalls. But unlike many peers, Mayweather has never filed for bankruptcy. His empire wobbles but never collapses. Like his boxing defense, he dodges just enough, counters at the right time, and emerges still on top. Reinvention through exhibitions. Retirement has often been a graveyard for boxers' finances. Yet for Mayweather, it has become a new stage. Since officially retiring in 2017 with a perfect 50-0 record, he has embarked on an exhibition tour that continues to generate enormous revenue. In 2018, he fought Japanese kickboxer Tenshin Nasukawa in a 3-round exhibition, earning $9 million for less than 3 minutes of work. In 2021, his bout against YouTube star Logan Paul grossed over $65 million. He has since fought influencers, former MMA fighters, and celebrities in Dubai, Japan, and the United Kingdom, often commanding 8-figure purses for contests that mean nothing for his professional record. In 2026, he is rumored to face Mike Tyson in an exhibition bout, a clash of eras that, if realized, would likely gross hundreds of millions once again. Whether against professional athletes or social media personalities, Mayweather has discovered a formula. People will pay to watch him, no matter who he faces, and he leverages that reality with unrelenting skill. The man behind the myth. But who is Floyd Mayweather beyond the riches? To some, he is the ultimate villain, arrogant, boastful, unrepentant. To others, he is an inspirational figure, a man who refused to be exploited by promoters, who turned the tables on a system that devoured fighters like Joe Louis and Mike Tyson. In interviews, Mayweather often insists that his displays of wealth are not vanity but proof of possibility. "I came from nothing," he says. "If I can do it, anyone can." He portrays himself as both cautionary tale and role model, depending on the lens. What is undeniable is the control he exerted. Mayweather called every shot of his career. The timing of fights, the selection of opponents, the promotion, the payouts. He was not just a fighter in the ring. He was the architect of his financial destiny. Legacy of money. As of 2025, Floyd Mayweather's legacy is secure. He is undefeated, 50-0 as a professional. He has earned more than $1.1 billion over his career. His net worth, whether $400 million or $500 million, is enough to sustain generations. But his true legacy may not be in the numbers. It may be in the blueprint he left behind. A fighter who refused to be just an employee, who became his own boss, who turned his fists into factories of wealth. He showed future generations, from Canelo Alvarez to Ryan Garcia, that control matters more than contracts, and ownership matters more than endorsements. In a sport littered with broken bodies and broken bank accounts, Mayweather stands as an anomaly. Love him or hate him, respect him or resent him, his story remains one of the most compelling financial sagas in sports history. And so, as the camera pulls away from the glittering Las Vegas Strip, we return to the man himself. Floyd Mayweather, standing alone in a mansion of mirrors, surrounded by the trophies of wealth. A man who turned struggle into strategy, arrogance into armor, and every punch into profit. The world may debate his character, but it cannot deny his empire. For in the end, he is not just Money Mayweather. He is the embodiment of the dream and the cost of living like a legend.